Welcome, welcome. It's Carlos here, and I'm grateful that you're here too. If you're on Facebook, just give us a shout out, or if you're live here with us, we're going to turn the chat on because I know we have to have that turned on. But yeah, welcome to everyone. Everyone is in the meeting. Let's see, can everyone chat? Let's see, mute all, invite all. Allow participants to unmute. Yeah, okay. Where's the thing for the messaging? Can you message right now, Jesse? Okay. I hope you guys can there. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Posting. Oh, everyone. There we go. I just turned it on. Posting. Everyone and anyone directly. Okay, there we go. It was already on. Good. Now that I know that, we can carry on.
Carlos.
Good to see you. Hey, I'm glad you're here, bro. Seriously.
Good
so
to be
good.
here with you.
Well,
Carlos's house.
yeah, man. We're here at the ranch.
Yeah.
We're just working away. We've been busy today, lots of calls and lots of mentorship and stuff, but also we have our legacy meeting on Thursdays. But we're here for you today. What say you? You guys have a question or a comment? We'd love to answer those questions. I see some of you are on here, and if you're muted because you're driving, but you want to ask a question, go for it. Richard, I just have to say thank you to you, bro. You've been processing the content, and I love the nuggets that you're getting. It just it's fulfilling to hear that this stuff is touching it's helping you in life and touching your heart and your body, soul, and spirit, and helping you to progress in life. That really blesses me to hear your feedback on the content as you're plugging into Connection DNA.
And can you hear me good?
Yeah, man.
Okay. And I really appreciate your encouragement. But yeah, dude, that content, the last couple of days, I've been really connecting to it. There's a lot of good stuff in there. And I'm already looking forward to coming through the second time just to pick up some more that I'm not picking up this time.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Awesome. So good. Did you have any questions or comments or things that you'd like to discuss more that you've been going through? We'd love to hear about it. We'd love the topic if you'd like. I can always make something up.
Yeah, I'm not really thinking of anything in particular. I was just looking forward to seeing what you got for me.
Yeah, man.
What week are you in, Richard?
I am in week 4.
Okay.
Week 4.
Yeah.
What's the theme for the week?
Oh, shoot. I don't know.
Let's see. I'm going to look right now because they all have themes.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't really done the best at picking up on what the theme is for each week.
Oh, you're fine.
Today I did the lesson for yesterday, and right now I'm actually drawing a blank on what it was on.
The power.
It was on the face of man.
The power
of action. Yes.
Power of action. Week.
Yes.
Yes.
There's so much good stuff in there.
Now I know why you can relate to it so much.
Yeah.
It's all about action. This guy right here.
Yeah.
The fiery lion.
Yes.
Yes. So, and the action is really powerful and important. The power of action and understanding the benefits of action. It's real. Like we want results, and yet we're not willing to take action.
Yeah. So here's a question for you. So I've been slowly learning about the 4 faces and especially the ox and the eagle and the lion.
Yes.
I was just wondering, if someone asked me right now, I would find it a little bit difficult to really put it into words what the differences are. Right. Could you put it in a nutshell, the differences between each one?
Yeah, it's kind of been a hot topic for us.
Has it?
The last couple of days. Again, it probably part of what makes it so good is like we're discussing the 4 faces, but primarily the 3 faces, because I'm really starting to see now, love languages, personality types, strengths. We focus on the strengths of those 4 faces when we when we talk about it in Connection DNA, which by the way, that's on for those of you jumping on Facebook, seeing our live video right now on Epic Your Life Facebook page. What he's referring to is the content Connection DNA. Connection DNA can be found on school.com, Epic Your Life. It's a private group on the school.com platform. And we have 8 weeks, 40 session. It's our flagship content, and it's called Connection DNA. It's all about restoration of our original DNA that we believe in was all about connection. So with that said, part of connection comes with identity, and our identity can be shaped through these animals. They're awesome. But why do we choose those animals? Well, we have chosen them because of understanding the 4 faces of God that's referenced in Ezekiel and in Revelation. So what happens is it talks about the ox, the lion, and the eagle, and then the face of man. Now what? Oh yeah, lion, ox, and then I got the eagle on the back. That's why I did it specifically. The sides matter. Anyways, and the animals, there's like chosen one is the queen of the air, right? That's the eagle. The king of the jungle, the lion, and the ox is known as the most efficient animal on the planet. Like if you think about our culture, even in the US, United States, we eat and utilize almost every piece of that cow, which is a bovine, which is an ox is a discipline. So you ask about how to describe the differences in the 3. I'm going to turn this over to Abe, see what your thoughts are. He's been actually doing this content for a few years now with us. 2.5, we were figuring, almost 3 years.
Yeah, about 2021.
Yeah, that's when he got involved in
summer of 2021.
Yeah.
Got involved and started going through the content.
Yeah.
And there was a time there in between then and now that we weren't quite as active, but lately we've just become more active again and really wanting to learn and grow. So it's good. It's good stuff. And
so how would you define the 4 faces if you were to distinguish them? The 3 faces. Let's just do the 3.
Not the human face, the lion, the ox, the eagle. So I would say the eagle is prophetic, very insightful, can see things because they fly high. The ox, very, very dependable, and they're able to yoke up with others, teamwork.
It's good.
And the lion roars, and the lion is excited, right? The lion goes and attacks the predators and keeps the home safe.
There you go.
Keeps his bride safe, and he's out there keeping everyone else away from, his territory. So
that's good.
That'd be my version where I'm at right now.
I like it. Oh, that's good. That's good. And it's good to hear different perspectives, right? But also another thing, Richard, to answer your question, is the elements. We do tie the elements to each of the 3 faces, and even the 4th face of man can be earth. But you've got the lion, which is fire. You've got the eagle, which is air, and you've got the ox, which is water. And it kind of ties into those elements too, because the fire burns stuff off and consumes it, right? Which is, there was 2 lions listed in the Bible. One brings death with the fire, and one brings life with fire, right? It's all in the perspective, which is powerful. And then you've got also the water, which is really, if you think of water physically, water can take the shape of anything. Like I've got my water jug here. Right, this is a big jug, so it's taking the shape of that. If I pour it this way, it takes the shape of this. You see what I mean? It's very able to adapt really well. The lion does not adapt very well. They're fire-ish. Again, these are all without balance, right? You know those personalities, those people where they don't adapt. They're just, I'm all lion, bro. Like, just deal with it. I'm A-type personality and I'm going to eat you for lunch and oh, well, deal with it. And they step on you on the way up, right? Up the ladder of leadership. But that's balance. It's not, it's funny, but it's a great description, right? The lion and the fire, the king of the jungle. And then you've got the ox, which is like water. And that's pretty cool because they are very amazing, steady, faithful, but they're able to adapt too. Like they're easygoing people. But again, it's important to have the balance, right? Because literally, if you're easygoing and like then you get used to, that's the tragic truth of the ox even.
And people
That's
can
right.
step on you and you can become an unconditional doormat.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And the ox, that's why they chose the bovine or the bull to be in the bullfights, because they know he'll never stop. So it's a good show, right? They keep stabbing him, keep stabbing him, the matador. And that's the tragic truth about the ox. He keeps going and keeps going, but no matter what. And but then that can also, without the balance, be a weakness too. It can be.
Yeah.
These are all important to know that. And then the eagle, same. They're you know, the ox is all about the doing the dailies, right? The grind. And the eagle is the visionary, right? Their feet never touch the ground. If you think about the bald eagle on the extreme level of an eagle, the queen of the air, you know, she doesn't even build her nest on the ground, bro. Like her nest is even way up in the skies and the mountains and the cliffs. And so it's interesting too, though, because if the eagle just is the eagle and you don't have the other faces, then you have someone that is just, hey, I'm soaring all the time. I'm dreaming. I'm visionary. I'm looking to the future. And it's like, but what about your feet on the ground? You got to still have the work. You got to do the work. You got to take the action, right? You got to have the daily grind that the ox knows. And then you've got the massive action that the lion knows. And then you've got the eagle that says, well, I think in like, you know, I can see out to the future and I feel that Spirit is leading me to do this and that. And it's really good. I can see what's ahead of us, right? Spiritually. And visually, even literal from an eagle, because they can see another eagle at 50 miles away. It's phenomenal what they can do. I think it's 3 miles for their prey. From 3 miles away, you can see a prey and attack it. So again, it's really powerful, the focus and the vision of the eagle, but it's also really powerful, the daily grind of the oxen. But it's also very powerful, the amount of work and the things that the action of the lion as well. So when you combine all three, game over. And that's what I believe you see in Yeshua. He's a great representation of all three being combined while he was on earth. Now I know the lion is like a representation of the son. When you got father, son, and then the father, the ox figure, the lion, and then the spirit, of course, being more of like the Holy Spirit, of course.
Carlos, do you think women tend to be more eagle and men more ox? Or is it more based on how we were, maybe how we were raised, how our parents were, maybe what religion we came out of that formed us into being an eagle or an ox or a lion?
So I would say, I was thinking about this today. I was like, I mean, obviously I get a chance to work with thousands of people over the years and see different personalities. Just a little bit on my background. I've studied I think almost all the disciplines of personality traits, from DISC, Briggs-Meyer, sanguine, and choleric, and that's the Christian one of personalities, to the animals, otter, dog, to the colors, red, blue, green, yellow, to Gems by Danny Johnson, to Bank. Even if you've never heard of Bank, I know the owner of that, and she's a friend of mine. And so I've studied them all in one facet or another. It's amazing. And what's so powerful is like you start to see patterns and you start to see things in the three faces. And then there's the fourth face, right? Because I think one thing that they're all pretty congruent on is they think it's about four faces or four types of personalities. Most of them say about 4. I brought it back to 3 just because of what the word says about we're created in his image. But it's funny you say that, because I would actually lean more towards, and Jesse and I have talked about this, because he and I have gotten deep into some of this stuff. And those of you that have opinions, we'd love to hear it, by the way. the more you study these animals, I know there's a lot of our legacy people that have dug deep into studying even the different levels of the lion and the testosterone that represents. So I've been kind of thinking about this, that the lion is probably more of a testosterone representation, which would be male. That's where we're born at.
Yeah.
Is like a lion. You're a wild boy.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you were little, you were a wild man. You were a lion, bro.
That's right.
And so and then the same thing with the female. When she's born, the feminine in her is definitely more spiritual and more eagle-like. I think that's how we're born. When it determining our sex, I would say lion and eagle. And this is where Jesse and I have talked a lot about it. I believe the ox is more of a discipline. It even says that in the word. And understanding that it's not really an animal, it's more of a discipline.
Gotcha.
If you think about the ox.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the ox that's why it's called ox and not called cow or bull or bovine. It's because it's a discipline. And I think it's very fascinating that the Bible does refer to it actually as an ox. Oxen is a discipline. So then if you think about it that way, and what is unique about us is man, the face of man, right? Our peculiar, our DNA. Then you've got the lion on one side, then you've got the eagle, you've got the testosterone male, and then you've got the eagle, the spiritual one. It's like the ox then brings balance.
Yeah.
But the ox is the discipline.
Yes.
Where that's what is taught. Why this is so prevalent with you guys is 100% the Amish or the Amish or the Mennonite, the Anabaptist are a very ox type community, very disciplined, very like, got to do the system. That's why, what is it? I think most of America's assembly lines are run by Amish.
Yeah, a lot of them are. I mean, up in northern Indiana, even the RV factory of the world is there in northern Indiana, and you have mostly Amish that are running them, and they're very disciplined. You know, they get up at 4 a.m. and they go to work. Go to work on their bikes. So
crazy.
Yeah.
But so then I think what's happened is it tends to, and this is where Jesse and I talk about this too, because he's felt a lot of lion eagle in him growing up, but then felt like the ox was so disciplined in him too, that's what comes out more than anything. That's his default.
That's more the default, because he was that, and that's my question, was earlier about maybe it's shaped, maybe it's formed how we were raised or what religion we were in. And maybe some people are more eagle because that's how they were raised. Maybe they're more lion.
And I think even the representation of an eagle is more prevalent with someone coming out of becoming previously Amish or previously Mennonite, because they want the freedom. So then what are they going to go towards? The eagle.
Right.
So they're going to be more spiritual.
Yeah.
And that's where the balance has to come in, because even like the lion is more of a passionate, like could seem out of control, and is, if not balanced.
Yeah.
But when you're a little boy, the boys are out of control and wild. Think about it. That's just natural. Like boys, even I think Jesse had said that, how when he was younger, he was so hyper and crazy. Like his parents really, Jesse, if you're on here, I'd love to get your feedback. You can join us in this, bro. Are you on here? Jump on, man. You might as well, bro.
I am. I was just making a bunch of comments. You really got me to thinking here.
Come on, man. I thought about this earlier when we were talking about this. It's been the hot topic. Richard brings it up.
It has been. And I've been tackling it with myself and jousting back and forth with some of the people that are asking questions. And so I'm like learning and asking questions and coming to terms with some of these things myself. And I was just recognizing that I'm kind of at a crossroads of think, well, which one is my strength? I mean, I recognize that they're all, you can cultivate any one of them. It's not like we're locked in and boxed in on any of them, but I can be in ox mode and be bored out of my skull, just wanting to be outside, doing something exciting, go do some street evangelism or something like goosebumpy, on my, and I can be, I was the hyper type, and I've been on the mission field. I've seen the dead raised, and love the prophetic and all of that, anything spiritual. I mean, literally to this day, I don't know of anything that fires me up or, gets me going more than real raw anointing, the presence of God. And I know it when I feel the real deal.
Yes.
I'm not into the fake, flaky woo-woo stuff, but but anyhow, just all that being said, I've kind of come full circle with that whole journey and really going down that path hardcore when I was single, and then getting grounded in marriage and discovering the power of balance, and how that, as I was pursuing all those things, it was amazing. It's great. I could write a book that would make people's jaw drop on what I've experienced. But where is it all now? It all just kind of came and went, and it was great, but nothing lasting. I never got anything off the ground. And now I see that I needed the balance of all four. And I believe that's one of, subconsciously, psychologically, without, I'm processing as I'm talking here, so bear with me. But I wonder if there's something about sensing that balance that has kept me on the rails as long as I have been with the Epic Your Life community. It's just recognizing the things that I need to build up that have been neglected because of me pursuing one lane and one avenue for so long, at the expense of other things that needed to be brought into balance in order for me to even be as effective as God could have me be. Chiefly that of getting married. Lord only knows how much more authority I'm walking in now, just simply by being married. The power of agreement and a wife to be there to help me fulfill my mission. So, okay, I just shotgunned y'all. I sometimes I wonder if I'm an eagle that's trained to be an ox, and with a whole bunch of suppressed lion. I don't know, but I do know I do identify with the ox. I mean, I appreciate the ox the most out of all of them. As far as like, it connects to my peculiar, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
I tend to think, man, if everyone would just be consistent and keep their word, the whole world would be a better place, the wars would cease, and everybody would get along better. So there's my spiel, Carlos.
Oh, it's good, Jesse. It's good. But what do you think about that whole male-female thing, and recognizing, testosterone is represented well by the lion, and that's probably our first, like, out of the womb as a young boy being a lion, and then the female out of the womb being more of the eagle. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know that I have anything more than just a surface level understanding that men do tend to identify more with the hoorah. They need something to conquer and to go after. Little boys, man, they're always walking around with sticks and playing make believe guns and knives. And
Taking bow and arrows out in the woods,
or back in the Amish days, they'd go in the two camps of boys would each take a side of the barn loft and be hurling corn cobs at each other and having war.
That's right.
Just stuff like that. I mean, it's just in them, Amish or not. The battle is within them innately by nature. So, and what are the girls doing? They're usually playing church or playing school or playing doll, or make-believe family.
Right. Playing wedding.
No, it's good. It's really good.
Playing wedding. Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And Richard, thanks for asking the question. I know it's like, did that answer it, or did it create more curiosity?
No, I think you did pretty good at answering it. I really appreciate the dialogue. One thing I had to think about is you mentioned the disc profile. You're familiar with the disc.
Yeah.
And one thing I remember about the disc is they have two different, how would you say, two different numbers assigned for each letter. One is adaptive, the other is, I forget what they call it, natural or whatever.
Yeah, so what the theory is behind that is ways that you act at work versus ways that you act at home. Yeah, so that's where they say that you can actually have different responses at home versus work. And so it goes a deeper level to be a little more specific. It's really good. fun
Yeah, and I was
fact,
wondering,
since
I'm
you
sure
know-
that affects, yeah, and I'm sure
Well,
that
I was
affects
gonna tell you
any of,
about. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry. I think that'll affect almost any person I do. I found for myself, depending who I'm around, it can affect my personality. And the problem is, like, if I have one type of personality with Ben and another type of personality with Laura, and then one day I'm in the same room with both of them, and suddenly I don't know what to do. Because I'm used to using one personality with one person and another personality with the other one. And I realize the more I can be true to myself, to what I really am, the less I run into that.
It's good.
And there is, to a certain point, we can change and find balance. I wonder if, is it actually good to try to live out of something that we're not? Like, I think I'm more of a lion. Is it good for me to try to live more like a eagle, or should I just more live, embrace what I am, but recognize the traits in the eagle? And I'm not sure.
So
I'm not quite sure how to put this into words.
No, you're saying it great, bro. Like it's such a lion that would say that, though. Isn't it just okay for the lion to be a lion really? and to just dominate the world? We need more lions. And then that is a true sign. I mean, a lion loves a challenge. So, but what you're trying to say, and I hear you, I do. I get what you're saying, that it's like, hey, but am I being true to myself if I'm trying to be other faces? Well, remember, God said we are created in His image. So all of them. What happens though is when we're only lions by design are not meant to be caged, right? And they're not meant to be yoked either.
Right.
So then you officially, or potentially, if you're only in the lion mode, you'll never have successful partnerships.
Right.
Like a true lion, now brace yourself, a true lion would be also like very promiscuous too, if you didn't have the balance. Because a lion, again, there's so much testosterone, and that's literally where you see these professional athletes that are such high level, but they're all known for being womanizers. Not all of them, but a lot of them, right, are known as being womanizers, and they get accused, and it's usually true. It comes out, oh yeah, they had all sex. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan had sex with all these women and all these girlfriends, and and a wife on the side. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting. But that's like I'm the king of the world, and it's attractive to lions. It's attractive to women. It is, however, it's the balance of I want to yoke with my wife, and that's the opposite. So you have to be willing to. That's a discipline, and you have to be willing to. Doesn't mean that we cancel out the lion. It doesn't mean that we don't have the intuition and the spirit of the eagle. It just means that it is about balance. It really is. And
that makes sense.
I hear you about the disc, because it's so funny. And I've always looked at it this way. When I took disc, I was off the charts on DI. Matter of fact, the lady who did the test on me, this was years ago when I was young, which would be equivalent to like an eagle lion. I had hardly any SC, which is more the analytical, more the disciplined, more the grind work. It was all like hyper spiritual, hyper aggressive A-type personality, lion eagle. And seriously, they had me take it twice because I was like off the charts and no SC. So it's really fascinating. But in that moment when I realized that, I was like, wow. I was like, so how do I probably, because I understood SC, or understood the importance of having the ox. And I understood, and I was like, or in gems, a lot of people know gems. Danny Johnson talks about the pearl. And I remember purposely going like, and there's a good example of the lion. lion personality is like, and we used to do this because the reds and colors I used to teach when I was younger. And the lion personality or the red will come into the office, and usually they're one of the owners, right? The executive, and they'll come into the office and they'll be like, everyone will be standing around talking, be like, how was your weekend? And before anybody can answer, they're already to their office.
Mm-hmm.
But they're trying to be like friendly, and they're like, how's your weekend? And when I saw that example, and I was like, oh, that's me. That's me. And this sounds so, I want to tell you, this is where the discipline comes in, and understanding that being an ox is a discipline. So I was that guy. I'm serious. Like, how was your weekend? And then I'd walk through and everyone would be like, he's such an insincere bastard. He doesn't care about us. But in my heart, I did. I just had a lot of stuff to do. I need to get to work. I need to get to work. I got to take massive action, right? Got to make some money. So I was driven by a challenge, and talking to them, not a challenge. That was back then, it was a waste of time. That's how I saw it. Now, here's the truth of the matter. Here's what I did. It was learning those colors. I was like, I know I'm off the chart DI, and I wanted to learn the other things. So I brought balance, and I said, what can I do? What cycle can I incorporate to truly love people well and be sincere? Well, what would a sincere person do? And this is the funniest thing. You're gonna love this, Richard, because you're a lion. But through and through, is I would take and I would ask, and this was literally the scenario. I'd come to work on Monday and say, how was your weekend? And I'll practice on like 8, and then I'd look at him, and as I'd make eye contact, purposefully stop, and I'd say, how was your weekend, Abe? And then inside me, I don't do this anymore, but inside me, I'm looking him in the eyes. I'm counting 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000. I counted 10 to 10. Now, I know that sounds super insincere, but it's the truth. And in the beginning, it was like that. In the beginning, it was a discipline all the way. Now, I love being with people. And I will give you my ear and my time and my eyes and my love, my heart, my everything. But I had to discipline that in me because of the lion. Now I just take that fire and that passion and spend time with people, right? I put it towards time and quality time. And again, going into love languages and touch and affection. And I love this man, right? And being willing to do that. Whereas a lion, that's not a natural thing. We're alphas. We don't touch men. Yeah. But again, as an eagle, there is camaraderie. As an ox, you're yoking. So there's really nice affection and love there when it comes to the eagle and the ox. So that's why I was laughing. You're like telling me, well, isn't it good? A lion would definitely say that for sure. Like, aren't we the superior animal? Shouldn't we just embrace the lion and get more results?
Exactly.
Guess what? Yes, you can embrace the lion, but also embrace the other two faces.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You explained that really well.
I lived it. I don't.
And the mule, probably what the ox says.
Yeah.
Doesn't the ox have a favorite saying like, "I'm too grounded to do that. I'm stable.
I got to keep my feet on the ground.
Yeah,
I can't fly.
Yeah,
we got to make it real. This is real.
Yeah,
the foot on the ground, the boots in the soil is real. I can touch that.
Yeah, right. We don't do that woo-woo stuff.
That stuff is for the birds. Even think about that saying. That stuff is for the birds. They're just up there flying around, not getting anything done. They can't focus on anything. These are the different judgments that you see in different personalities too, as well. It's really hilarious once you start doing that.
Really, don't you think it's the discipline though that brings the balance that we're talking about? Discipline brings the balance either both ways. So
yeah, agreed. It is discipline is such a powerful tool for sure. Self-control, self-discipline. And I think even that's why it's one of the fruits of the spirits. Again, we can go into all that stuff. Yeah. Self-control, self-discipline, the fruit, think on these things, focus on these things, focus on the strengths. And that's why we don't say, I know there are weaknesses. I know I have weaknesses, no doubt. However, I choose to focus on strengths that need to be improved
Mhm.
because I'm more willing to do it and I'm more excited to do it, especially as a lion. I don't want to feel like I failed.
Right. Yeah, it's good.
So I tricked myself. So a lot of this stuff that we talk about and are doing is because we went through it and had to do it in our own lives. So, and it is truly interesting how at first it was so insincere. My counting is so insincere. I'll be the first to admit it. But it took that discipline to really pause. And then of course I was counting. And then finally I was listening after doing it long enough. Then finally I was listening. And then finally I was hearing. And recently my wife is helping me to then be understanding to truly hear is to validate. That's next level. That's validation. How do you validate?
Mm.
Well, you actually acknowledge the emotions that they're
Mm.
feeling,
Yeah.
which is the next
That's
level.
like next level hearing,
That's
right?
absolutely.
Yeah. Response.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. How do we respond
And,
to
and
real
that's
hearing?
something I'm not even there yet. I want to get there. Like I'm still focusing on hearing.
Right.
Like, what are people saying?
Yeah.
And then I want to
Oh my
learn how to
gosh.
respond to
Oh, you're so right. It's so funny too because Chantel can tell when I do it because it's so funny sounding because I'm actually purposefully doing it now.
Mhm.
So it almost seems insincere because she's not used to me doing it. Like she might say like, "Oh my God, my head hurts." And before I'd be like, "Well, let's get you some Tylenol. Let's fix this."
And suppressing the lion, I think when we were small, like Jesse said, the comment there that Adina thinks that maybe his parents suppressed the lion in
yes,
him.
yes, for
Well,
sure.
I think the
The
result
culture did too.
I think the result of that suppressing the lion is that we don't know how to hear anymore, or we don't know how to respond when
good
we
point.
hear. You know, it's that suppression.
Yeah.
Even though we're disciplined, we have the ox traits. We don't listen well.
Right.
We don't hear, and we don't know how to respond.
That's good.
Because I know
Sure.
I'm an ox. Probably that's my strength,
Mhm.
but I'm still learning how to hear and how to respond to what I hear,
It's so good.
and how to
Which is a
calculate.
discipline.
Right, it's also a discipline, I guess.
Yeah, it
But
is.
wouldn't a lion be more a natural at that, or an eagle be more natural at hearing
An
than
eagle.
responding?
An eagle,
yeah.
because they can tap into the emotions, right? That's the spiritual stuff.
Mhm.
And it is more of a emotion is more spiritual and
Yeah.
emotion. And it's interesting because this whole thing about emotions and validating people's emotions, I realized I had a belief though that was attached to it. You can always go, what do you believe and why? And I believed that if I validated that emotion, that they may stay stuck there.
Right, I gotcha.
Like, well, I'm empowering that.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is you're not. You're actually empowering them to make a better decision because if you tell them, like, for instance, like, well, Chantel says, well, I have a headache. And I go, well, let's get you some Tylenol and let's fix this.
Let's get you fixed.
Right. And that's solution, baby.
Right,
Solution.
right.
Let's go.
I do that too.
But what happens is all of a sudden you take their choice away by doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a solution, but if I simply, and you think they're not intelligent enough, I mean, there's so many subconscious things that does. Well, I'm not intelligent enough to make a decision.
Right.
I know how to do that.
Yeah.
I just love you, and I wanted you to validate me. Well, how do you validate that? You say, "Wow, babe,
Yeah.
that must be painful. Are you okay?"
Right. Right.
And that's so foreign to me. She'll laugh and snicker now when I stop and go like, "Wow, babe, that must be painful.
Yeah.
How you doing?"
Yeah. My wife had to keep reminding me of that. Well, I just want you to listen to what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And I'm like, well, I want to bring the solution so that you don't have to say that.
That's right. That's right. But we're not validating. This is a guy
Right.
thing. So yeah, I think that's what we're discovering here. It's a lion thing. So you're probably right. Maybe it's like because we just want to get the solution.
Yeah.
Action. That's the lion in us, right? Or even the ox. But what's interesting though is again, when we validate that, we're not actually empowering it. We're just hearing them. And so here was another strategy I tried for a while. So I was like, okay, because I'm all about strategy. So I was like, okay, so she says, you're not hearing me. And I'll be like, okay, so if I say I'm hearing you, will that help?
Right.
And so she would say something. I'm like, I hear you, Chantel. I hear you.
Mhm.
And I'd nod my head. And she's like, no, that's not, you're not really hearing me. I'm like, because then I would be like, would you like a solution?
Right.
I'm hearing you. Would you like a solution? No, you're not hearing me. So I'm like, okay, I learned this in communication. What if I just, okay. So she says, I got a headache. I was like, I hear you. So you're saying you got a headache. So I repeat it back to her. So I hear you that you've got a headache. And she's like, you didn't validate me by repeating what I just said. I'm like, but that's what I was taught in communication classes. Like, if I repeat you, then I repeat what you say. I must be hearing you then, right? Because I can repeat it back to you. What did you just say? Well, you said you had a headache. Yes. Okay. Very good. Would you like some aspirin?
Yeah.
Because that's where you're going with that.
Right.
And guess what? That's still not validating. It literally, it's so fun. It's such a fascinating study because we're back and forth about this. And we talked about this in our nightcap the other night. And I was like, what the revelation has been is we have to validate the emotion and the feelings.
That's right.
And I was like, whoa, no wonder I don't want to do that. No wonder it's hard for me because I think that emotions can keep you stuck in a victim mode. I mean, that was my belief, right? Your actions will prove your belief. That was my belief. So then I have to go, well, that's not true though. My wife is powerful.
Right.
She's worthy of being validated and her emotions matter. She matters.
Right.
So I'm like, I can do this. And so it'd be like, simple thing about a headache. I'll be like, well, babe, that must really be painful. And I'm like struggling even to say it. And she's trying. She's like, well, actually, it is. And she'll lay her head on me and be like, oh, do you want to go make love?
Right.
And she's like, well, now I will because you validate me. I'm like, yeah, lying. We love a challenge.
One thing that I'm learning is to ask her 2 questions, and that is, babe, do you want me just to listen to you right now, or do you want me to give my opinion or advice?
You want feedback?
Then she'll tell me, and then it's like, okay, well, I can do this because she told me what she wants now.
That's so good.
And it's in my language that I can understand. Okay, she wants me to listen. She doesn't want my advice. Doesn't want a solution. Okay, well, I'll just listen.
So good. No,
And
I
then
love that.
10 minutes,
Knuckles, bro.
or
That's a good one.
A few minutes later, then she actually wants my advice.
That's right.
After I listen, right?
That's right. That's right. Jesse, you got your hand raised? Just interrupt. Be a lion.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you wanted to open it up to see if there's any comments, feedback, or questions from some of our other listeners that may not have had input that would perhaps like to express themselves. It's a open platform from what I can sense, so
Yeah, why not?
everyone will be honored.
We are actually out of time. No, I'm kidding.
It is good.
That's such a lion thing. That's why I said
Out
it.
of time.
Oh, we're sorry, we're out of time. Only what I have to say matters. Oh, I love it. I'm kidding. But Jesse, I love you. Listen to him though, how
Good
he's
old
like,
Ox Jesse.
I know he's like, want to open it up to everyone else?
Sure.
And I really do.
He's thinking yoking.
That's-
Well, I know there's some questions out there.
That's
There's
right.
people that have questions, which I know for a fact. I'm just giving them
That's right.
opportunity to
Oh,
ask
that's
the
good,
questions.
Jesse. Go for it. I'm looking on the comments. I don't see them. Maybe they're commenting to you, but yes, the lines are open. Unmute. We'll take a few more minutes to answer any questions, or you can comment. This is good stuff. Richard's a lion, so he's gonna, comment and ask questions. But if there's some eagles and oxes out there, do it.
Ryan Stutzman, what do you got to say?
Oh yeah,
Lavina Yoder.
that's right. Leona.
Leona.
There you go. Way to call him out, Abe. I like it. Knuckles. Another Knuckles. Explode. Oh, Ryan, what's up, bro? Rawr.
Not much. Didn't realize you guys were on, but I got the ice, hopefully cooling down the ice plunge. So
There you go.
yeah, I'm pretty sure Jesse's kind of calling me out a little bit because when you guys are talking about like the Eagle stuff, I'm like, okay, you hit that box, you hit that box, you hit that box, you hit that box. when it comes to eagle stuff, because it's like, okay, you guys can quit picking out my personality stuff.
And that's all that matters, right? Is all that eagle stuff. That's what's most important.
Well, personally, I find it interesting, and I'm like, am I just that predictable? When you're talking like this, and I'm just like, it feels like I'm way too predictable.
Well, Ryan, I would say the other faith, the lions and the oxen, have a similar mindset about themselves.
Oh yeah,
in relation to others.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like,
so
it's crazy how it works, but it's real, So the
yeah,
lions think everyone should be a lion and the world would be a better place. The oxen are like, if everyone was just more oxy, things would go better. We get some stuff done. And the eagles are like, if we just listen to what's the Lord saying, this, spiritual, things would just flow.
Yeah.
If everyone was just more like an
40
eagle,
days.
But it's truly about, recognizing and honoring each one for sure. But
Yeah, Abe didn't know, Ryan, that you fasted for 40 days with just water and bone broth. He did, man.
Hey, kudos to you. I've never done that. I'd say that's
right?
discipline, though. That takes discipline.
It does.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because it affects the spiritual, though. It proves that I'm a spiritual man, so I'm going to be disciplined.
That way too, yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I did the work I did, I think it was the first little over 3 weeks I did strictly water, but then after I took a trip to Louisiana with a group that I've helped with, I did, after that, as a reward, I started doing some broths and stuff, because believe me, when I heard about the trip down to Louisiana, I was like, oh, this sounds awesome. I get to try gumbo. I get to, like, authentic gumbo and different stuff like that. And then I'm like, crap, I'm doing this fast. I'm going to smell everything, but not get to have any of it. And as soon as we get down there, the very first meal that they do as a group had gumbo, and I sniffed it, and I could tell you it was a very good gumbo, because that thing smelled amazing.
Tell you every ingredient that was in it. He reverse engineered the recipe with his nose.
Right.
No, not quite that bad. I'm more of a meat guy myself. Like, I like meat, and I could tell that thing had some very good, very seasoned sausage in it. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be harder than what I thought.
You did it, man.
Yeah.
Super awesome. Super awesome. Yeah. So it's that same kind of strength that you can apply to the other faces too. Same kind of passion and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. It's really good.
Well, for me, I mean, I had a reasoning behind it, and I knew for myself that especially for my understanding, there's a certain level of sacrifice that you need to make, especially when it comes to your walk with God and stuff like that. And I knew that definitely a 40-day would be a part of that.
It's good. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. It is very amazing. Yep. And so again, that's the power of you tackled it and you went after it with everything that was in you. And that's why it's proof that the three faces are present. You had the discipline of the ox in that, and you had the passion of the lion to do it. Now we got to shift those same kind of balance that you had in that over to new things like relationship stuff. Right? The discipline you had in that, you can take it to other places too. So it's good, man. You're there. You're going after it. It's good to see you plugging in, and good to see you participating. It's really good. And again, if we have to speak some eagle language to inspire you and motivate you, it's just recognizing that. And that's the wisdom I want to hear. I want to tell everyone here too, as well, that's watching, is, are you willing to speak someone's language? Like knowing that Ryan is like his first primary is eagle, very spiritually driven, is good. That motivates him. So are you willing to speak that language then? You know, it's the same with the lion. Hey man, come at me with a challenge. Come at me with things that help me level up and I'm all in. Like that's just my language, right? And same thing with the ox. Come at them with efficiency and disciplines and consistency, right? On time. They like those things. They enjoy those things. They feel honored in those things. The spiritual one's like, what's a clock? What time is it? I don't even know. I'm just being led by the Spirit. Ask me how I know, because I did many adventures that way. Let's fly into a city and just see what happens, see where God leads us. And we would, and it'd be amazing. And we had a blast. Somebody's beckoning us.
Somebody, maybe.
Guess what?
Us to come back.
It really
Right
is
on.
time for us to finish up, because our wives are like, yeah, you guys are totally going over time. We got things to do.
Come over, we need a hug.
I know, we need a hug.
Thank you so much, Carlos, for making having, it was engaging and interesting enough to make it well worth going double time.
Thanks, brother. It was fun. We had a blast. Thanks,
Yep.
Jesse, for helping us too. And Abe.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
thank you to everyone that commented and contributed and shared.
That's right.
That would made it really fun and interesting too. Ryan and
That's right.
Richard especially.
Yeah, that's so good. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Ryan, for your participation. All of you commenting on here and on Facebook. I haven't looked at the comments yet there. But please let us know if you're watching live, if you're enjoying the replays, if this stuff is making sense, or if it's totally foreign to you. You've never heard any of this. Let us know. We love feedback. And we want to continue to bring you some fun, good information, all right? And education. Blessings. Love you guys. Safe travels there, Richard. We'll talk soon.
Safe travels, blessings.